Okay, playing a 40-10. Nice long play game. Let's develop the knight. Let's get our bishop out attacking. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to take the knight off the board. Make some space for the dark square bishop so we can potentially castle. X-ray through to their king, because obviously they're going to castle. We can castle. Could have struck first blood by taking the knight, getting the double pawns. But they're in a rush to try and come for a fried liver. Bring this knight here supporting. Okay, they're attacking us. We can come here. Knight takes, pawn takes, whichever. I think we will just bring the knight, bishop here, sorry, and attack. We do have the pawn, it's going to be doubled. But I just have a plan of potentially coming here with the rook. But they're not interested. They're looking to double our pawns here. Does give our bishop a bit of space to come here and support the knight. At which point I think they're going to start pressuring this pawn. But for now, we'll go for simple chess and just bring the bishop supporting the knight. Looking to see the knight off. Yep, we said they were going to be focused on this. Try to drive here. Hit the knight, has to go back. So the knight's moved. Just asked the bishop a little bit of a question, and they've given us an answer straight away. This pawn doesn't have any protection, so the bishop's moving, either taking the knight, doubling our pawns, so the queen can protect. I think that's the way they'll go. They've not done that. They've brought the knight back, protecting the pawn. Okay, so we can move the knight out of the way as soon as it's not a very good position. If they're keeping things there, we can come here and attack, but obviously they may not defend it, but we shall see. Either the pawn's going to come or the bishop's moving. Anything else before we do that? No, I don't think we need to get too arty. Let's just bring the knight back. Bear in mind, if we do go there, the bishop can still take it off the board, doubling the pawns. Okay. Going for small moves. Let's queen here. Don't really want to go here. The bishop's not got much play. Go here to see if there's any of this business. Go towards here, but we can't do anything about that. Right, it's coming down supporting this area here, so we can push this pawn to get some more activity towards this pawn potentially. It wants to beat us to the punch, so we could still go with the box shape, and we'll continue with that. Now we do have two pieces attacking this one. Probably just better, isn't it? Thing is, we do have an X-ray through to their rook. So they've moved the rook, which immediately my brain's going, it does allow us to get the pawn. I'm just thinking, push, push, push. Alright, so it does allow us to get the pawn, it looks like, anyway. I don't think it's impacted our position too badly, just as the rook facing the knight. Obviously, the knight is going to be on there once the bishop moves somewhere. It's looking for a home. Probably go back here. Not doing any of that, it's giving his king a bit of a flight square. This pawn doesn't have any protection. Is there any other continuation? We can take this pawn. So that's an immediate capture. We can, but does it improve their position? Probably does. The bishop comes here. Doesn't look too dangerous. Our knight's defended by the queen. Don't really like that. And their rook is hitting our knight. So I think we are simply capturing the pawn back. I really don't want to... Yeah. So if we push here, it's just going to push down, then he's got a passer. Pushed here, he can push down. Doesn't have a dark square bishop, so the queen could sit here blocking. Don't think they'll do any of that. Am I being too arty? It's stages like these though, I've just got to think to myself, well, it's this move that is going to make the game, the rest of the game. It's king area, we're not really getting to. And they're allowing us to keep this pawn for a brief moment. It's going to get a 2-on-1 on it, so we're going to claw it back. So I think if we could put some pressure on a pawn, it takes, rook takes, opens up the rooks. But I'm going with this. Queen's coming down, supporting. We can take, maybe the queen takes and going for an exchange. Do we lose out with the pawns, with them having this passer? I think we can take, because the rook's going to be on the queen. So I'm assuming the queen's going to take. Then we take, the pawn takes. And because the queen is out of the way, then the pawn takes and rook is on our knight. Knight can take. Bishop's white squared, so it's going to start harassing it a bit. I think we'll go with that. Well, the queen's moved, so they didn't reckon on that. So we could take the pawn and the rook is going to be on the queen, also going to be on the bishop, but the queen's just going to go back and defend. That looks feasible to me. And then potentially get the rooks here if there's anything else to do. Yeah, so the queen goes there. So we could look to get their rook off the board, but their knight is there, so we're not going to get carried away with that. So we can slide our rook across and then look to chase the queen around a bit. They're chomping at the bit to get this pawn either taking or pushing past here, getting the queens off the board, hitting our knight. Anything else to do? Doing this is no good because it's just going to block there. Then we're just going to continue with simple doubling of the rooks on the file. whilst they work out which one they're going to do with this pawn. We've got all the pieces trading down here. Oh, they've lost the rook. Pause the tape back. It's not really a trading game, but it's not a taking back type situation. They put a lot of thought into the move, so they had enough time to try and find a better move. I'm sorry, I can't. Gonna keep asking for why not. Okay, I tell you what then, let's do it. Right, so he's moved the queen. Move the queen dead quick so the rook can take the bishop. He's speaking in a foreign language now. He said thanks. Okay, he might not be thanking me when I take this here. Now they're going crazy, and I bet you I'm falling into something. I gotta be careful. I think I prefer the knight taking rather than the queen, so that it takes it off with this rook's radar. Do we have anything better? Because this rook doesn't have any protection on it whatsoever. You got a fork with his knight. No, can come here. Yeah, so if we took with the queen, his knight's jumping there, quick time to get the rook off the board. I'm going to bring the knight. Oh, but then if we take with the knight can take the pawn. Okay, let's not be too... We do have the rook and the bishop. I think that's the better option, taking with the knight. Queen's attacking the unprotected rook. Rook not really going here because, as we mentioned before, the knight. We have to move the rook out of the way, don't we? Just bring it back, or we could attack this pawn here. Just that rooks don't have any place in the center of the board, unless of course it's to my benefit. We do have the option of bringing the rook here to support it. Then if they challenge, we take, rook takes. The rook is stuck in the center. No means of getting out there. I'm going to take the pawn. Get close to his king. So wary of all of that capture and their own in the file with the rooks down here. To go down that route. Might be looking to try and get the knight here. Oh, excuse me, here. Feel a bit bad for that rook being in the center of the board. It's all by itself. Is it getting trapped? Feel a trappy thing coming on somewhere. The queen is down. Attacking this pawn twice? No? Well, we're defending it once. So if we bring the knight here, like we planned, attacking their knight is going to take, but we can take, the queen takes, and then we can take the queen, so that's not going to work for them. I think we need to get rid of this knight. Where else is that queen going? It's not taking this, not taking this. So the knight takes. At this, we've got options. Rook can take. Undouble the pawn with the pawn. And as the rook is in the centre of the board, it's a bit dangerous there. We do have this, but the queen would be able to take it off the board. So rook takes. It's on the queen. Rook takes. Pawn takes. Looks like a cleaner operation, doesn't it? Oh, they've resigned.